This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Welcome back to the show. We are honored to have Craig Quaglia joining us here, our myofascial trigger point therapist, and he's based out of Forest Park, Illinois, over 30 years experience, and joining us today to talk more about the work that he does and, of course, how he's helping you. And we got some great demonstrations in the past. He's helping so many people live a pain-free life and better life, right?
Yep, that's the goal, better life.
Well, please tell everyone a little bit about yourself and what you do before we begin.
Okay, so good afternoon. I'd like to say it's a bright, sunshiny day, but it's not.
Oh,
It's cold
oh,
and we're battening down the hatches here.
all right, all
My
right.
name is Craig Quaglia, myofascial trigger point therapist, practicing medical massage and myofascial trigger point therapy for 39 years. Even I can't believe that. 5 years as an instructor, private practice, worked in 6 clinics, stressing holistic and functional medicine. And it's where I learned all about synergy and working together and getting great results that way, mostly focused on chronic pain and maintenance and prevention. So now we're two snowstorms into the winter already, a
Yep.
lot of sore muscles. We're
Hmm.
getting ready for a low cold front to come through, which again we've talked about before, is
Oh,
fibromyalgia
yeah.
or
Yep.
and chronic pain weather. Yes, not
Oh,
yes, but bad. I love the snow, especially when the highs come through and it's sunshiny, but that's not one of these days. So,
yeah.
so it is also, besides the holiday season beginning, tis the season for flu and COVID, our two friends that we wish we'd never met in our lives. So let's start with COVID. And we all know it's been around since 2020. It's changed and turned our life upside down. But currently, the news is good. Current
Hmm.
trends, new cases are relatively stable, with regional fluctuations in some areas are seeing a little slight increase here and there.
Yep.
The best part is hospitalizations are down 3,200 most monthly in the United States. That's a good thing. On the other hand, our good old friend who never goes away, the flu, is currently 22 million people have had flu this year already. So that's a big thing. It's starting
My
to,
son included, flu A. But again, there's flu
yeah,
A and flu B, which honestly, I'm confused what the difference is, to be honest.
the intensity is the difference, and the way it spreads is a little bit different.
Okay.
Hospitalization, 130,000
Oof.
people hospitalized. Estimated deaths, this is the part I really feel bad for, 14,000 people this year. Approximately 200 million people, which surprised me, have received the flu vaccines so
Hmm.
far this season, which is helping reduce the severity. That's a good thing. So you're probably beginning to wonder why I'm talking about this. One of the reasons why I am talking about this is because what happens afterwards usually ends up in our practices and on the tables. Okay. Um, the variants in immunity, there's new variants of COVID-19. We know it constantly is evolving.
Yep.
It's a stinker. It never stops,
Uh-huh.
never rests.
Yep.
Booster efforts continue to play a key role. So people are still getting shots in spite of all the controversy.
Yep.
And of course, flu activity, although your son seems to have beat the curve,
Hmm.
it tops out from December to February in the Northern Hemisphere. Now, I want to issue a warning here.
Hmm.
As a massage therapist, if you came down with the flu and suddenly showed up on my doorstep, the answer would be no. If you had a fever, if you had symptoms that were um, just beginning the onset, the answer would be no. And there's a simple reason for that. It's not the appropriate time. Need to
Yep.
send you to a doctor or send you home to do this. If I were to start working on you at this point, I could worsen it. I could spread the infection within your body, and I could actually end up catching it. Thank you very much, but no thank you very
Ah,
much. Okay.
gosh. Uh-huh.
Where we come into play, and it's very important because the body's usually beat up by then, is after the fever breaks and the symptoms have subsided, it's time to support your body and bring you back with whatever modalities we can to a more healthy state and get you over it faster. So let's talk about long COVID. It's a term a lot of people don't understand. When we talk about long COVID, we're talking
Hmm.
about COVID that has been around. This is an offshoot of the
Okay.
COVID-19 or the SARS virus. So it's been around for more than a few months, right?
Yeah.
So according to the National Academy of Science,
Hmm.
Engineering, and Medicine, those guys are sound serious. An infection associated with chronic condition that occurs after COVID-19 has been present for 3 months as a continuous, relapsing, remitting, or progressive disease state that affects one or more organ systems. Now, a couple sessions back, we talked about fibromyalgia,
Hmm.
and one of the side effects of the COVID outbreak has been an increase of fibromyalgia that is still going up, going on, and going up, and they don't understand why yet.
Yeah.
Now, according to this definition, that means 18 million Americans have experienced long COVID. Now, imagine what 18 million people who are continuously going through this are taxing the healthcare system,
Yeah.
their jobs, their families, their relationships. Researchers have begun to link long-term COVID with the shortening of our lifespan. So this is becoming a serious long-term problem.
Hmm.
And these are the things that are starting to show up after all this stuff has been going on for a while. So these are the things that we didn't know about that we're finding out. Ongoing studies focus on how the virus impacts body systems. We've talked about body systems
Yeah.
a lot. When one goes out of balance, the others are forced to pick up the load. And the longer something goes on, the more fatigue, the more damage is done to the body. So persistent immune activation, immune system on high alert, like fibromyalgia, we talked about, high alert, constantly fighting the infection. It's going on for months and months. Wears you down, makes you tired.
Yeah.
Viral remnants linger. This one really drives me crazy, leading to chronic inflammation and immune exhaustion, long-term damage to organs, right?
Yeah.
So that's a big deal. Blood vessel inflammation, that's another big deal. I was listening to a doctor a couple days ago who is a surgeon who was having trouble with her left hand, and they discovered that since COVID, she
Oh.
has had blood flow problems into the left side of her body. So
Hmm.
these are not, in her case, this could be a really big problem in terms of her ability to continue to
Yeah.
operate. Autonomic nervous system disruption, we've talked about that in the past. Now, the common symptoms with COVID is fatigue, but it's not just a
Hmm.
little fatigue, it's deep, it's long lasting. Brain fog, we've talked about that with fibromyalgia. Well, it comes up here, difficult in concentrating,
Yeah.
putting words, completing a sentence, that kind of
Hmm.
stuff. Muscle and joint pain, that's fun. I'm sure your son had some of this going on. Uh, Unfortunately, it spreads throughout the whole body. And what happens is you're laying down for 5, 7, 10 days and the pain spreads throughout all the muscles. You're not moving, so you're not getting any exchange of nutrients. Heart palpitations can scare the hell out of people if they don't understand what's going on. So, sleep disturbances disrupts the healing process, loss of taste, smell. And I had a guy come in 2 weeks ago, PT, who lost his hearing for a while.
Hmm.
Fortunately, he got it back, but that was the first time I heard that one. So, impact on the nervous system, headaches, cognitive issues, feeling spacey, foggy, respiratory system, lingering shortness of breath, muscle spasms in between the
Hmm.
intercostal muscles, your ribs for breathing. They get overloaded. Soreness of the diaphragm muscle,
Yep.
again, impacts to breathing. Immune
Hmm.
system, ongoing inflammation. Remember, we talked about the inflammation. Everything we talk about is about inflammation, and we're
Yeah.
always trying to minimize it or stop it. But in this case, it's taxing various organs of the body, the liver, the spleen, the heart, the kidney. So that's COVID. Now we got a little bit different set of symptoms with flu, influenza. Woohoo, get that one out. Current symptoms and effect. Fevers, chills. Now you can have that in COVID too. The chills that come and go. You may go on for days. Sore throat, impacting swallowing, the ability to speak. Coughing, activating trigger points in the intercostal muscles again. And scalene muscles, we've talked about that last time. Scalene muscles are part of the breathing and impacting the brachial plexus, initiating pain down into your arm, hands, neck, and chest. So these are things that we definitely want to be paying attention to. Body aches widespread, making movement difficult, or finding a comfortable position, sitting, standing, certainly sleeping. Fatigue, not only at the height of the flu, but may linger for weeks or months. It's not unusual to go back to work, start going back to work, get through the day and
Yep.
just come home, literally crawl into bed and go back to sleep or rest or, just tone it down. Headache, vice grip like somebody just put a vice grip around your head, it's
Yeah.
squeezing. Certainly hurts worse when you're coughing, if you're coughing because all the connective tissue becomes activated. Runny or stuffy nose, deep sinus pain, burning from just taking a deep breath through your nose because everything, the endothelial tissue is all raw. Impact on the various body systems is just amazing. Respiratory system, primarily the sinuses, sore throat, and lungs. And when it gets really bad, can lead to pneumonia, produce a lot of phlegm. So people who have various types of heart disease or asthma, they're definitely prone and more in danger at this point of coming down with these more serious illnesses. Usually, the good news is it resolves within a week or two. But resolve doesn't mean you're entirely over it. That just means you're back up and moving around. You're still going to have fatigue. You can be it can be seriously serious, especially for vulnerable populations.
Yep.
Sometimes activates latent health issues. Now, this I have personal experience with. In 2016, I came down with the flu. Turns out I have a genetic predisposition to something called erythromelalgia.
Oh, what's
You know,
that? Never heard of that in my
well,
life.
yeah, I'm glad you
Oh,
never heard about it because
oh, I'm sorry. Well,
this is 9 or 10 of 10 pain, and you have to have a
oh,
genetic predisposition.
oh my
What
goodness.
happens is the blood vessels in my hands and feet began to dilate to the point
Mm-hmm.
where the wall became permeable and things were getting in and out that shouldn't have been getting in and out. So what happened is I literally felt like my body was on fire, like somebody put a match. And when I tell you 10 to 10 pain, I'm not kidding. At 2 o'clock in the
Ah,
morning, I couldn't sleep. Fortunately, I found a way through it, but that one took me 2.5 years to totally get over. And I was one of the lucky ones because people usually don't. Can take months to fully recover. Okay. So what happens once we get past the point where people are starting to recover, starting to get over the symptoms, certainly the fever is broken, we bring in the troops. The overall view of using the various techniques. We always talk about massage therapy,
yep.
especially at this point. You want to start off nice and easy. The person's been in bed probably a week, maybe longer, whether it's the flu or COVID. Things are very sensitive to the touch. You do not want to go in with a heavy hand. Myofascial release, gentle, sustained pressure on the connective tissue, fascia, lovely tissue, great, very important. But we got to release the restriction so you can start moving. What your body will do when you have pain is it's called splinting. It prevents you
Hmm.
from moving beyond the pain where the pain starts. It
Oh,
stops you right there. So part of our job is to get that to break down so you can start moving through a full range of motion. Okay. So think of stiff neck where you can't
mm-hmm.
turn it. All right. My job is to reprogram those muscles to talk to
Okay.
them in a way that you can do it without being in pain anymore and protecting it. Of course, these are not the only techniques we use, but this is the ones that are the usually the starting point. Other times we bring in things that are really necessary and good. Let's talk about how these therapies heal the body. Now we're into the game plan. Healing, you're getting the person back. We want to get them up. We want to get them back to their normal life. We want them excited about living and not look like the sourpuss Grinch for Christmas. All right. Reduce sympathetic nervous system. That's your fight or flight
Yeah.
response. So when you get into this system, gets overactivated, sound, smell, touch all becomes really sensitive. You're too sensitive. Everything's hyperactive at this point. So we want to desensitize. We want to bring you back to a more normal state. How do we do that? With the various modalities we talk about, we go into the second part of the nervous system called the rest or digest or repose, which helps begin the healing process. It helps bring down the inflammation. Musculoskeletal, we're talking about the bones and the muscles, getting them to move around. Release muscle tension, improve flexibility. You've been in bed for a week, you don't have any flexibility
Nope.
at all at that point. Things sort of get sticky, blood flow is minimal, it's still there, but it's not doing its job. Reduce pain caused by muscle knots, we call them trigger points. And we want to get those to start to let go because that means the fibers will lengthen out. We can start
Yeah.
going through ranges of motion. And there's a lot of other things they do we'll get into in a moment. Enhance blood flow, the circulatory system. When we talk about tight muscles, muscles that are in spasm, we do not have an enhanced muscle flow. We have a restrictive muscle flow.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the doctor a moment ago where she's having restrictive blood flow and things like that need to be dealt with. Increase oxygen. Well, why not? We should have increased oxygen. Turning blue is never a good thing to do. And
Hmm.
certainly increased oxygen and nutrient delivery to tissue is important at this point.
Okay.
Clear out the metabolic waste material that has built up as a result of your body fighting this, not only clearing it out, but opening up the space for the new nutrients and oxygen to come back in. We get the fascia and the connective tissue. We love fascia. Fascia is like a web light that surrounds muscles, bones, nerves, organs. Think of like a nylon kind of material that could go all different ways, has a unique strength to it, supports everything. At this point, it's pretty fuzzy, might even be on the dry side.
Hmm.
So the whole idea is to get this flowing again so that the fluids, everything lengthens out and starts to work. These restrictions in the fascias contribute to pain and restrict movement. Myofascial release, restrictions helping restore the mobility. So we're talking different systems now. You notice we're going system to system.
Okay.
No, nothing works by itself. Everything is interrelated with one system versus the other. And it's nice when everybody plays nice together, but when they don't, the other systems are forced to work harder. So in layman's term, let's talk about this. Massage and myofascial release means we're
Okay.
resetting it. We're
Ooh,
resetting the button. The body's starting to respond. We promote the relaxation. We
the
lower
blood
stress.
flow.
Yeah, yes. We
Mhm.
we lower stress hormones like cortisol.
Ah,
Everybody
yes.
talks about cortisol. Most people don't understand, but everything needs to be in a balance. If it's out of balance, it increases your sensitivity pain. Better circulation so your body can heal better, faster, more efficiently. You can leap buildings in single bounds again, kind of a thing. So trigger point targets the logo areas where there's been muscle spasms. We begin to open up the area, the blood flow starts to come back in. So we're going to see how these therapies support long COVID and the flu. We're going to get a little deeper, not too deep, just a little. How they reduce stress. We always everybody talks about stress, but
Yep.
very few people realize how it impacts your system and your nervous system. So it helps to rebalance things. Everything, the word they use is homeostasis. It's about balancing your body systems in order for you to be optimally functioning, to be
Okay.
the best person you can be. So we want to come back to that homeostasis, that balance. The therapies activate the parasympathetic system, which we talked about before. which decreases stress hormones like cortisol. But the
Hmm.
good news is it increases the endorphins, the good time
Ooh.
hormones. Yes. And we want them. We want them to come back on. We want things. It's not only is it a good time hormone, it's one of the best pain regulators out there. I don't even think there's a drug that comes close. Lower cortisol levels reduce inflammation, help immune cells function optimally. Now we're not at war, we're about repairing
Uh-huh.
and fixing things, making it easier for your body to finish fighting the infection. So, improve circulation and lymphatic flow. Lymphatic flow means cleaning out the spaces between the cells where all the waste material have accumulated because of the
Okay.
fight that's been going on. You want to get it out. You want to get things back to optimal. It helps to remove the waste material, and at the same time, it's carrying the immune cells to where they need to go. Remember, we talked about trigger points. It's preventing things from where they
Uh-huh.
need to go. So now, one by one, we're unwinding the systems. During a massage or myofascial release, we're enhancing the transport immune cells like lymphocytes. Lymphocytes are really important. They
Okay.
go around gobbling up everything that shouldn't
Yes.
be there more efficiently. Yes, we want that, like the Pac-Man.
I
They're
remember
just
that
going
from
to
high
town.
school.
Yes, helping your body identify and combat pathogens faster. So these are all good things. Reduction of local and systemic inflammation. Again, we're back to inflammation. We want to bring it down as far as we can so your body isn't in constant stress over fighting this. Uh, we bring decreased cytokines. They're very important in the fight in the beginning, but now we got to turn them down or turn them off and bring in other ones to stop these immune signaling molecules and just bring them back to normal. Regular massages, treatment plan is usually put into place to help bring the inflammation down, decrease the inflammatory markers, and just repair the whole immune system, help it repair the immune system and
Yeah.
remove the fragments that are still there trying to start trouble. That's one of the things we want. We want that out. We want it out of your body. Modulation of cytokine production. The cytokine cells are the ones that go in and really fight, but they need to be now regulated and brought down to a more calm state. Trigger point targeting muscles can help lower the stress-related cytokines, promote anti-inflammatory cytokines. The good guys come over the hill, calm everybody down, support the immune system. Great stuff. Enhancing sleeping. I don't care who you are. We all can sleep better. All right. Relaxation from these therapies can improve sleep patterns and goops. And good
Uh-huh.
sleep patterns are important to healing your body. If you don't have it, you're not going to heal as
Okay.
fast. All right. It's really important. Better sleep after therapy sessions allow your body to produce more immune factors like antibodies and T cells. So now your body is returning back to normal. The guardians are coming out. They're looking around for trouble. They're not necessarily in reaction to it. So in summary, myofascial release, massage, trigger points therapy support the immune system, reducing stress, enhancing circulation, decreasing inflammation, promoting better sleep. What's not to like about this?
True.
The effects help your body respond more effectively to infection like COVID and flu, and of course, fibromyalgia is the other one. Okay, so keep in mind, this is a part of a holistic approach. First, you had to go to a doctor, or, you know, you had to wait for a certain part of this to settle down before somebody like me
Yeah.
could come in. But everybody plays a role, and you included. You might take whatever you take, do Ma's chicken soup, whatever it is that takes to get you through the initial part. But the bottom line is, we want to get you back to a
Yeah.
pain-free, productive life. And more importantly, we want you to have a Merry Christmas. So this is where we're at with this. So this is why, you know, we end up with all kinds of things like this after the fact. We sort of come in and help clean up the mess. We support the body to do this in a way that otherwise wouldn't be done.
Yeah.
And it cuts down the healing time instead of being down or being fatigued for 7 to 14 days. Maybe it's only 7 to 10 days, kind of a thing. So this is where we come and do our thing and
Do
help
our
people.
thing. I love it.
Yes, it is. It's our thing. It's and people usually call us after nobody else is helping them. So right now, that's where we're at because they can't get into the doctors or fast enough. So,
Yeah.
so I am Craig Quaglia, TriggerPointExpert.com. I am 708-524-8812, and this is my story for today. So,
How do we contact you one more time, Craig?
Craig Quaglia, TriggerPointExpert.com, 708-524-8812.
There you go. Oh
Okay?
my goodness. Thank you so much. And
You're so
will I
welcome.
be back before the holiday? Are you here again?
Next week we are, yes.
Good. All right, good.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
enjoy and looking forward to next time. And of course, all I'm thinking about is the images that like we showed like last week. Like totally like I could see the fascia, I could see the muscle, I could see I want everyone to feel better. Let's ease them into the holiday season with less pain. Please.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you. All
You're
right.
welcome. Thank you. You have a good day.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.